Hey guys, welcome to Ben Wrenchin. My name's Ben, and today I'm wrenching on this 2012 Honda Civic. I'm going to be doing an oil change. I've got everything I need right here. I've got a catch pan, a funnel, some new oil, a filter, some oil filter wrench pliers, an oil drain plug removal tool, and some gloves. I'm going to get the car up on some ramps and we'll get started. All right, with the car safely supported on ramps, just give it a push, make sure it feels good. And I've got the rear wheels chalked as well. Pop the hood right here. And I'm just going to take off the oil fill cap so that the oil can drain faster. And I'll slide some things underneath the car. At the front of the car, this is the oil pan. It says engine oil and it's got an arrow right here. This is the oil drain plug. It's a 17 millimeter. And there's a look at it from the back. I'm going to use a 17 millimeter socket and break it loose. And from there I can use my magnetic tool to grab onto the drain plug and spin it out the rest of the way. Make sure to position my catch pan to catch all the oil once it starts coming out. Alright, we'll let that drain out. And I wanted to show this because I had a hard time getting this old crush washer off. It looked like somebody had used it and reused it. This is why you don't reuse crush washers. You want to use a new one every time you do an oil change. So I did get it off and got a new crush washer on there. And to get that off, I just got a socket that was larger than the head of the drain bolt, sitting in there just like this. And then I just used a small punch. The drain plug's got a center punch right there. And so I had this down in the socket and I put the punch right in that indentation. Gave it a couple whacks with a hammer and it came right out. So I just wanted to show that in case you had that problem. But do not reuse crush washers. So now that I've got a new one on, we can go ahead and put this back in. And we'll reinstall the drain plug and then we'll get the oil filter out. The drain plug gets torqued to 29 foot-pounds. There we go. And next I'll get the oil filter off with these oil filter pliers. And now that we've got it loose, we can take it off the rest of the way by hand. And I'll go ahead and take it off the rest of the way and try to make as little of a mess as I can. There we go. Oil filter off. I'll drain all this oil into my catch pan and then we'll clean this up, get a new filter on, and fill it up with oil. The filter I'm using is K&N SO1010. I'll link this in the description. And I'll just get a little bit of fresh oil and put it around the seal of this oil filter. And I'll go ahead and install the new oil filter. And we'll just get this hand tight. I like to take off my gloves so I can get a little bit more grip on it. Make sure it's tight and we're good there. And I can go ahead and pull out my catch pan. And I'll collect the old oil into a jug and take it to AutoZone or any auto parts store. They'll recycle the oil for you. And now we're ready to put the new oil in. This engine calls for 0W20 oil. That is on your oil fill cap. And this engine calls for 4 quarts of oil. So I will put in 3.5 quarts and then start the engine, cycle it, and double check the oil level and top it off from there. And I'm going to stop about halfway and check for leaks. So it's a good idea to check, make sure that you tighten down your drain plug and your oil filter. Alright, and I've got about 1.5 quarts left in the jug, so I'm going to go ahead and put the oil cap back on and start the engine. And I'll go ahead and start the car and check for leaks. Looks good. And so now I'm going to take it down off the ramp so that we can check the oil level properly. You want to let it sit for about 15 minutes to let the oil settle so that you get an accurate reading on your dipstick. So in that time, I just used some Simple Green and cleaned up the engine bay a little bit. And I can also go ahead and reset the maintenance light. So right now it shows service due. I'm going to hit the menu button and go up to vehicle information, maintenance info. And then I just hit the center button to reset the maintenance info. And I'll pick yes, I would like to reset the maintenance information. And the maintenance information has been reset, and see that the oil life is at 100%. I also record the date and the mileage in a note on my phone so that I know when the last oil change was. And now I'll take out the dipstick and clean it off, slide it back in and push it down all the way, and then pull it back out straight. And I can see inside these hash marks, the oil is right at about mid-level. So I need to put about 1/2 quart of oil in, which is what I expected. So I'll take the fill cap back off and put the rest of the oil in. So you should end up with about 1 quart extra, and you can use that to top it off in between oil changes. So I'll fill this up until I've got a quart left, and that looks good. And the funnel fits into the oil filter, so you can use that to drain your funnel. My old oil should be finished draining, so I'll take this out. I read an X on the cap of my old jugs, and I've got quite a few, so I should probably make a trip to AutoZone soon. Make sure to replace the oil cap, and you can check the level again if you'd like. Make sure you didn't leave anything in the engine bay before you close the hood. All right, and with that, we are done. So pretty easy to do. I like to do my own oil changes, make sure I get a good filter. You can choose which oil you like. So that's it for this video, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more content on this 2012 Honda Civic. I've also got a 2004 Honda Accord if you want to see some of that content. And thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.